All right, folks. Welcome to your restaurant quality low calorie pizza. It all starts with the sauce. The sauce is the heart of the pizza. Start with salt, stir and taste, and get the salt just perfect. Once it's perfect, then add your garlic and your pepper. Not too much garlic, just the right amount of pepper will change the color of the sauce just a little to a dark instead of a bright red. And when you taste it, you want the sweetness to just fade in the sauce. Perfect. Let's set it off to the side. Time to make the dough. The dough is truly the soul of the pizza. It's a simple recipe. For every cup of water you use, 2 cups flour. Here's a tip. Put the sugar in first, about half a tablespoon per cup. Dissolve it completely in the water before adding the yeast. With pizza, you want a chewy crust. I'm going to show you how to get that perfect restaurant chewy crust that's crisp on the bottom, but soft in the middle. Once your sugar is dissolved, add a packet of yeast, 1 packet for every 1 cup water. Don't do a thing. Let the yeast activate without stirring it at this point. We'll come back and stir it as we go. I used to have a hard time getting the yeast to activate. That's right, gently stir it. Any yeast on the side of the bowl isn't going to do you any good. And stirring it vigorously will cool the water. I've been making excellent pizza for 20 years. When I decided it was time to lose weight, that's when I decided to figure out how could I make the same restaurant quality pizza low calorie. Come back a couple of minutes later, give it another gentle stir. Once the yeast is completely dissolved and the water's nice and milky, that's when it's really going to start to foam. You should be smelling that beautiful dough smell right now. Let's let that sit a little while. Now, 2 cups of flour for each cup of water. Gonna grab a nice wooden spoon, gently start mixing. Once you get it to where you can stir it without flour flying out of the bowl, start working it off the sides. You're just trying to get all the flour and water mixed. Once you can stir it where it's a solid dough, now it's time to knead. You want a nice healthy patch of flour. The dough should be very sticky and wet at this point. What we want to do is we want to put as much flour in the dough as it will accept. nice thick coat of flour on top. Gently press down. The dough will feel very soft and very moist at this point. So we're going to knead, and we're going to continuing add flour. I like to roll it this way, then press it out. Each time you press it, more flour. As you can see, you can still push it your fingers and see the fingers dents in it, so we've got a ways to go. As I press down on it, I can still feel the moisture. Try to keep the flour away from the edge. I hate walking on flour. We're going to keep squishing, and each time we're going to squish it flat, add a layer of flour, and roll it up. We want to put as much flour in the dough as it will accept. We want the dough to become very firm, and when you press on it, you don't want to feel any moisture. We're just going to keep rolling flour into it. Once it no longer feels moist, feels dry when you push it, you're getting close. And we know we're there when the dough will stop sticking to itself as you roll it. Finally, we're there. Once we're done kneading the dough, it's time to cut. Start with a well-seasoned 9-inch glass pie pan. Use a small scale. Weigh out 5 ounces. 4 doughs is about what you'll get. Now to roll the dough, squish it out nice and flat in your hands like a pancake, then roll it up. A typical way of rolling dough may cause it to tear, so use this method. Once you have all 4 of them laid out, it's time to press them out. Go ahead and get all 4 pans oiled up and ready to go. We're going to coat the balls with a heavy coat of flour. Let them sit just a few minutes. That'll help them gel and stick to each other. The reason they're nice and round is so that we can press out a nice circle. The key to a nice round dough: go one direction first. Press it out to exactly the width you want. Then turn it and just press out the oval to a circle. When you start going multiple directions, the dough will start to get square. Give it a little shake. Throw it in the pie pan. You're good to go. Go ahead and do the rest of them, and it's time to give the countertop a little cleaning. Go ahead and lay out your toppings and your sauce. I like to chop all my vegetables when they get home from the store so that they're in Tupperware. These 2 doughs, we'll just throw a plate on top and put them in the fridge till later. Here we go. Sauce and cheese is the only thing required. Generous with the sauce. This is going to rise and it's going to soak up a lot of the sauce. Just work it from the middle to the edge. Easy as pie. Get a high quality mozzarella cheese. Partially skimmed mozzarella cheese is half the calories of most cheeses, at only 40 calories an ounce. I usually use about 6 ounces of cheese. I've been doing this long enough I can eyeball it, but weighing it out at first helps. Some low-calorie turkey pepperoni. Make sure to start the pepperonis right at the edge. I have some different recipes for sausages that I use, but just taking a turkey sausage breakfast link works great. A little green pepper, a little red onion on one of them, and we're ready to bake. 15 minutes later at 450, here it comes. Crispy around the edge, just starting to get golden in the middle. Just go around, break it, and should slide right out. A pizza cutter is nice to have. Boy, that looks good. The pans are oily, so I wipe them out with a paper towel after each use. Here we go. Little Parmesan cheese. Parmesan is high in calories at about 20 calories for 2 tablespoons, but it's one of those that you don't use much of. Our homemade sauce is very low in calories, so let's scoop a little bit extra as a dip. And hey, why not? I like to eat this with a knife and fork. Let's eat. Subscribe for more.